So I know who you are. Well, I'm often here when you're having sessions, which is great. But for those who are watching this, perhaps they have no idea who you are. So to get started, I'd love for you to introduce yourself and maybe say how long you've been coming into our centre.
My name's Alison, and I've been coming to the centre, I would say, for a year at least. And I've been coming only weekly, which I have considered to be enough. And I heard about it actually before I came. I heard about it on the, through some friends who are into healing. And they told me about the energy healing. And so I looked it up, and to my absolute amazement, they're down the road from us, and which was amazing because we'd been living in Portugal for 7 years. And if I'd been in Portugal, I wouldn't have been able to access this sort of healing. So I considered it to be absolute grace that it was here when I needed it. So I came on the back of, at that point, two rather significant health issues. Very sudden, just after I arrived in Australia. I suddenly, out of the blue, I had no knowledge of it, I had a total heart block, and I was rushed to hospital, and I had a pacemaker. And then 3 weeks later, I had another rush to hospital, and I had my gallbladder removed. Yes, I felt like I needed to get to the high-frequency healing. Although I've had two parents who are medical, I've always turned to alternative medicine. So I've had acupuncture for 50 years, which I regard as really good. So yes, I came here on the back of that, and I feel like I've had enormous support and help from staff and from the actual energy healing. I'm 82, and I think my recovery has been extraordinary. I've been fit and well very quickly, yes, been amazing. On top of the other two issues, suddenly after this last Christmas, at Christmas, they discovered that I'd got a tumour in my bladder. So I had that removed, I was told it was a high, it was a high grade of cancer. I have had no spread, and I've had a subsequent follow-up, and again there's no spread, and I feel fit and well. One of the things I think has been very important to me in my journey with my health issues, because I've been really healthy until I got here, so right from 80 odd years I've been incredibly healthy, is I think that whatever comes up in your life is a great teaching for you, and I'm immensely grateful to the episodes I've just recently had. They've taught me an awful lot. I think your body issues are a kind of healing. They actually arise to clear out the old energy stuff, and given the right support, I think your body has a wonderful way of healing if your attitude's right. I've learned a lot about receiving life just as it is, and not saying I like this feeling, I don't like that, but opening to it all. And in my life I've done a certain amount of running from feelings I don't like, and avoiding them, and strategizing them. And I think that causes blocks in your body, and I think it accumulates. And so I'm grateful for the fact that these episodes have cleared some old issues, and I do feel a lot better now.
I love how you put that so beautifully about how when things arise, the immediate might be fear or stress or being scared. But if you change your perspective, how they can actually be great teachers, that's very wise. That's something in my life that I struggle with quite heavily and really would love to improve on. And to hear you say that is quite amazing, in light of those three objectively quite serious things to happen in a short amount of time. That's enough to rock the best of us. And yet, probably, what would you say, 6 months later, sort of, from when those things happen? I mean, you've been coming for about a year's time.
The first two episodes I got over very well indeed. The last one was just after Christmas. Just on Christmas, actually. Amazing. I feel I've done amazingly well. One of the things I think when you have a major episode, at any age, but you know, is that it gives me an opportunity to meet death, and I think it's incredibly important. And a lot of people who are coming to a centre for healing are really trying very hard to turn the other way and not face death. And I've been on a very intense spiritual path all my life, followed amazing teachers. That's why we were in Portugal with Muji. Some of your listeners may know Muji. The question that really arises and has driven this life has been, who am I and why am I here? And of course that, in a way, if deeply involving yourself in that answer brings you face to face with, well, what dies? And I think if you're full of fear and you've got a significant problem, then it's probably an issue that perhaps needs to be faced, because it helps your body heal.
It's such a great point that you bring up, because we often speak to the system being holistic and multifaceted. So, you know, many come in with physical reasons. Absolutely, that's understandable. But as you alluded to, the emotional and spiritual aspect of health is as important, and in some cases perhaps more so. And it's amazing how, as you said, being in a state where you're fearful, you're in a fight-flight response, it's, I would say, almost impossible to reverse any sort of issues that you may be trying to, because your body is not in a state that's conducive to that.
That's right. Yes.
So I'd be really interested to know, so with your journey and with your recovery, with your sessions here, how important was that kind of spiritual and emotional aspect to who you are in supporting you during that difficult time? Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, absolutely essential.
Yeah.
Meeting whatever emotions are there, yes, rather than avoiding them. It's meeting those feelings without the dialogue. That's very key. So everybody has a story, but the key thing is what's at the heart of that story is what emotion that is the one that you're most backing away from, and that's the one that invites you in.
I think to wrap up what's been a beautiful interview, thank you so much for sharing. I would love to know what you would say to somebody who's maybe considering coming into the centre, whether they're not sure about the EE system, maybe they've been faced with a health challenge that they feel out of their depth in, or feel like it's really arising those emotions that you've chatted about. What would you say to that person?
Well, what I would say to somebody who's unsure is it's really good to step into the unknown and have some courage, and really try and see how it benefits you, because yes, if you don't try new ways, then you're perhaps not as fortunate as those that are courageous and do. What have you got to lose? I think all I can say is that it's been absolutely wonderful. It's a beautiful environment, beautifully serene, beautifully restful. You come in and there's a lovely welcome. What a gift to have this opportunity to come and rest your body and allow it to be healed with whatever the frequency can do to support that healing. So I would say anybody that's thinking about it, I would ask you, what's your worry? Because it's beautiful. I have to add that I've also had ivermectin for the cancer treatment, and I think that supports my healing as well as coming to this centre. And I think it's beautiful that I've had this great gift of grace.
What have you got to lose and what have you got to gain? It's such a beautiful way to invite people into just trying something that's unknown, and also not viewing the system as a golden bullet or a one-size-fits-all. This is exactly how it is. I think looking at it from a multifaceted approach is a really great way of doing it. So thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, this is a real pleasure. Thank you. And I'm really excited to see how you continue to grow in your own health journey, and your emotional and your spiritual aspects as well.
Thank you.
So thank you.